Thank you for tuning in. Please stand by. Our show will begin momentarily. You are experiencing an incredibly annoying wait time. We do apologize, but again, the show will start momentarily. Please stand by. Thank you for tuning in. Please stand by. Our show will begin momentarily. You are experiencing an incredibly annoying wait time. We do apologize, but again, the show will start momentarily. Please stand by. Thank you for tuning in. Please stand by.
Hey everybody, welcome to Popular Unknown Paintball Live. I don't know how many people saw that Please Stand By video at the beginning. I both love it and hate it. It was just a lot of fun to create, and I just wanted to have some sort of a little warm-up. I'm probably going to get rid of it in the relatively near future because I'm not sure how many times I can tolerate watching that myself, but I put so much hard work into creating it, making it funny. I just had to roll with it just a couple times. Hey, Nikki Hannah, great to see you. Hey, Facebook user, great to see you. So, yeah, that's my new temporary intro until I figure out something that I like better. But I just wanted to have that little buffer beforehand. And I don't know, everybody's doing countdowns, and I like being original. I like being me. So I got somebody said like and share. Yes, everybody, please like and share. We've got great guests on tonight. We don't want to miss them. Plus, we're going to be giving away some t-shirts, not only this week, but we're also giving away a t-shirt next week. So there we go. And Facebook user, sup bud, sup back. Great to see y'all. And Chica, love to see you, bud. All right. So I've got some great guests on tonight, and I'm very excited to have them on. So I'm going to keep this very short because I want to get right into it because I just want to. But yeah, I was supposed to be in Texas a little while ago, and I have John Tankersley. I'm not sure if he wants to be called John or Tank. I'll have to ask him. And I've got his daughter Zoey, who is Destiny royalty. It just, yeah. You know what? Screw the monologue. Let's get the fine people from Tanks Paintball on, and let's get into the show, man. All right. Hey, everybody. Sorry.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I had a semi-monologue planned, and I just threw it out the window because I want to jock with you guys.
Just wing it, man. It's all good.
Right? Plus, nobody really wants to see a long monologue anyway. Like, you only tune out after so long. Did you guys laugh at the Please Stand By?
That was awesome.
I thought it was actually pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, man. You should keep it.
I should see. I think it's fun the first couple times, but after the fact, it's gotta get it's gonna get old. I just know it's gonna get old. So how's everything in Texas? Like, I mean, other than what's on the news and stuff, but how's everything with your neck of the woods?
Man, we're awesome. We've got it's kind of crazy. We got another cool front coming in. We're going to be in the 40s tonight, which is unheard of for Texas this late in the year, but you know, we'll roll with it. I like the cooler weather. Us big guys like it cool. We sweat too much. So, but you know, it's a little windy today. The fields are awesome. We're busy. People are spending their stimulus money, and I'll take it all. I love it.
That's awesome. So, just to get things, first of all, do you want to be called John or Tank?
You can call me Tank. Everybody calls me that.
All right.
Except my wife when she's angry. Then it's
Mr. Tankersley?
No, it's John.
Oh,
and then I know I'm in trouble. So I'll have PTSD if you call me John.
Fair enough. Well, I won't do that.
Okay.
We got a lot of people just scrolling by saying, hey, so we got Bobby Douse, Brian Myers, we got Chica. A lot of people are saying Facebook user. If you look at the top of the post, viewers out there, if you click just to give Facebook permission, then we'll actually see your name, so I can actually give you a proper shout out. But in StreamYard, I can't see who it is if you don't give Facebook permission. Just so everybody out there that's following along, that's what's going on. And Zoey, great to see you. So you commanded a big game recently.
Yes, triple threat.
How was that?
It was pretty awesome. I went again, it was a 3-sided game, which isn't really something that happens with scenarios. And I went against 2 other field owners near us. One of them, her XO has been in scenarios a while, Seabass. And then we also had Daryl from TXR, and I can't remember who his XO was. I feel bad about that, but it's
okay.
I really didn't expect to win, but I was like, man, I feel like I had some great people though. I want to say our team was stacked, but it was fair in numbers, but I had so many of the experienced teams. So I think that's really what helped.
Oh, did you win? Like I just know that you were a commit. That's awesome.
I did. And then I had Wade from Fox's Den, Texas as my XO, which I think really helped a lot. He really knew what he was doing. That's awesome.
So, all right. So I get the impression like you don't know what you were doing.
Not really. I kind of winged it, but it worked.
Hey,
I seemed like I knew what I was doing, so that's always a plus.
So I've never commanded a scenario big game event. I've been asked, and I've always said no.
Same.
Because I just want to play. Like, I mean, hats off to the commanders. In no way, shape, or form am I putting it down or saying, oh, it's a crap. I don't want to do it. Like, I just want to go out. And if I'm at the paintball field, I want to go shoot people, or I want to hang out in the parking lot. I don't responsibilities. No, it's the weekend.
It was a nice change of pace because that's what I like to go play. I'm not really too much of speedball.
Right.
I hope to be. I'm coming off an ankle injury, so it was nice to kind of sit there.
Right.
I can't really run yet, but it's definitely different being in the box versus just going out and doing everything. So it was kind of hard because I had to be like, I can't really just go out there.
Right.
I have to kind of delegate everything.
Could you shoot people?
I didn't get to. I didn't even get to use my gun. It was kind
So
of hard.
you had to schlep all that paint around, wear the thing, all the gear, the mask on and whatnot, and you had to stand in one place.
So I didn't take anything out. My XO took his gun just in case people got like past our security and everything.
Right.
But I just went in my jersey and I think some sweatpants in my normal boots because we did have kind of a far walk out to the building. But
right.
It was kind of nice not having to haul everything too.
So you were a referee then?
Pretty much. I kind of just got to sit in the box, and I had a field ref, and then I had Wade, and it was just kind of like, okay, every 30 minutes people would come in. Hey, where are we going?
So thank you, Brian. I don't know if it's me that's keeping the game alive. I'm just more of a megaphone for everybody else is doing the hard work. But Brian commented there. It says people like you, Steve McGuire, and Tanks Paintball that help keep the game alive. Nah, it's not me. These guys definitely, but not me.
Well, we're just field owners that have a good time. We've just been doing it forever, and I'm ready. I'm training Zoey so I can hand it off to her. And you know what? It's awesome to be on the shows and talk to you, talk to players, and just talk about paintball. I mean, my wife she hates going places with me because everywhere I go, somebody knows me and they talk about, man, do you remember that time that we were at your field? Or do you remember that time we were out at that event? And she's just like, I'm going to get a beer and sit here and listen. And we just talk for 30, 45 minutes. She's like, can we eat dinner yet? I'm like, yeah, let's go. But everywhere you go, like when you've been in it as long as I have and you've made as many friends as I have, you just, everywhere you go, people just want to talk to you. And it's awesome. It is awesome.
It is. I know back in the 90s, when I wasn't playing, I was refereeing for about 3-4 different fields for 6-7 years. And I had a jacket that had paintball written on the back. Actually, multiple jackets, but I normally had paintball written across the back. And so when I would go out, girlfriends hated going to the wall with me or whatever, because I would go out and we're like, you're that guy. And I'm like, you're that guy.
Exactly. No, it's awesome. It's awesome being in paintball as long as I have. And it's such a small world to like when you had Jay Muncaster on and I remember going to Skyball and meeting Jay, and I was invited by Jim Lively to go, and I met all those guys, and then to come around full circle and create my own distribution company and be a Zap distributor for the US, and then to work with Jay and those guys. And it was like, wow. And it's like I said, it's full circle to meet those guys when I was just kind of freshly into paintball, and then to come back and be involved with them as I'd been in it for so long. And it was just awesome. I mean, everybody that I have dealt with in paintball, minus a handful I could count on one hand, have been awesome, and I'm friends with them still. So
you'll have to do a whole separate show on the handful one day.
Yes, that's a whole nother show. But
yes,
it's all good.
I try to avoid that show.
Yeah.
Like I really try to avoid that show, because we've all, and everybody watching, we've all been around paintball long enough to know there's always that guy or that girl that's just, you got to give your head a shake. Oh, that's actually Jay Muncaster watching with us.
Jay Muncaster.
Click the button so we can see your profile.
Right? Thank you, Zoe. Preach.
Come on, Jay. You know what to do.
There's a bunch of people I wish I know who it was.
Muncaster.
No, we can't see him.
Yeah, he's not. He's just.
He didn't follow Facebook.
My wife heard the name and popped in real quick.
Well, she's here. If he's watching, so she wants to jump on screen and say hi to Jay.
Say hello.
She can.
Jay can hear me that I love him. Hi, Jay. I love you.
We all love Jay.
Jay's awesome.
He's actually getting involved with bringing Beach Blitz back to Wasaga Beach.
That's what I heard. I will actually make that road trip to go to that.
Yeah, that's more of a flight. I've driven from Dallas to Toronto. You want to fly?
Yeah, that's true. We'll have to buy a jet. We'll have a tank jet by then.
There we go.
With a full flight crew and everything.
We could just take the tank from the field. It'd take us a couple months.
Yeah, that's true. We could just drive our tank.
I want to drive that tank so bad.
You need to come
We're
down.
all excited.
Hey,
come down.
The only thing stopping me from crossing the border is, well, the government. The reason I was able to go to Denver and World Cup last year was because there was kind of a loophole. You couldn't cross the border if you were driving, but Americans were welcoming anybody that flew into the country, which makes no sense to me. But the actual borders for driving across were closed. So I could fly. And then when I came back, I had to go through a 2-week quarantine, which is fine. It sucked, but I get it. Yeah. And in order to stop that, the federal government said, okay, we're only allowing flights into certain cities, and then whoever comes in has to go to a designated COVID hotel and stay there for 3 days at an expense of approximately $3,000 while you get tested. And then once you've cleared your test that you are COVID free, then you have to go home and still quarantine for 2 weeks. No. So, hey, look.
We can see Jay now.
Jay. Hey, Chris Higgins, 16 years in the game and not yet met anyone that was not friendly or helpful. That's true, Chris. There are tons of people in paintball that are the best.
Yes.
Someone says they know you from Skyball 2001.
Yep. Awesome.
And we got Kevin Camacho saying we should do a show on how not to be that guy. See?
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be good.
We could invite that handful of people and just go, look at these people. Don't be like them. But the show would be over in 5 minutes.
Well, you see, actually, you know what would be even better is if I was to take a camera out there and I was to get people to, quote, cosplay and just, get some of our favorite people to act like the people they dislike the most. Not give out any names or anything, but can you imagine how funny that would be?
Oh, just say if we could make Muppets out of them. Like make them
right?
Like Muppets.
I feel like you guys want to be sued.
Not really.
No.
We could make sock puppets.
See, I can honestly make fun. Okay, so you guys are field owners, and I've managed a few fields. So is this not the most annoying statement, comment, whatever, when they come feel? It's like, yeah, I'm really experienced. I play hardcore. I'm a sniper.
Oh, my favorite. I can't wait to bring my frozen paintballs out here. Then you'll all be sorry.
Oh, I love that one.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So yeah, maybe that one's probably.
So the top three are yours, the frozen paintballs, and the ex-military guys that are just going to clean house. And then the 7-year-old runs by with the FT-50 and shoots him in the butt while he's laying on the ground crawling for the past 10 minutes. So
yeah,
those are my favorites.
I swear though, I was like, yeah, I play hardcore. I'm a sniper. That just hurts my head. Like I think I just had an embolism just saying it.
Oh my gosh. And you know how many times in all the years I've been in the industry, I've explained that it doesn't work that way, but they're like, well, I used to do it. You know what, dude? You're right. Yeah. You're the one, you're the exception. You know, like I don't know what I'm talking about at all. So it's just, you just smile and nod because they're special.
I understand. I understand.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
so stories are awesome.
We've alluded to how long you've played, but we don't. So when did you start playing, and when did you start a field?
Okay, so I started playing. I played my first time in '92, and some friends invited me out. And at that point in '92, the field that we played at was still using nail splats with oil-based paint.
Woo!
And
still in the 90s?
Yeah, it was crazy. So this guy, you basically would call this number. It was almost like special ops type stuff. You'd call this number and you say, hey, yeah, I want 20 or 30 paintballs, and here's my name, and where are we meeting? And he would meet on different properties. And what I found out later was he didn't have permission to play on those properties. He would just drive around his truck, set up on properties, run people to play, and people would play all day, and then you'd leave, and then you would then he would call you back a couple weeks later and say, hey, we're going to do the next one in 2 weeks, and do you want in? And then you'd call back and go, yeah, this is what I want. And it was crazy. And then let's see, I started my first field in 95. I want to say 95. And I had some friends that came in with me. And we all know how friends are partners when you start a business. You do all the work and they just want to play. And then it got to be where they weren't even showing up. So I started hiring some kids, and I would pay them out of my partner's part.
Right.
And they didn't like that. So I eventually got them out, and then we just kind of grew from there. And I've had 9 different fields in my career, I guess, of paintball, and 4 stores, and I love what I do.
Now, do you just shift them, or do you just open, or like do you close one down and open another? And like how does that work?
Well, at one point I had 3 fields, and I was a partner in another one, and I had and on the paintball stores, that's kind of a funny story. Some friends of mine opened a paintball store, and they didn't know how to run a business, I found out. And I put money into the store to help them. And they didn't know they were paying themselves more money than they were making in a week. And so I kept trying to figure out, why do they need more money each week to buy product when we're making X amount of dollars? And come to find out, they're just paying themselves and having big lunches. So long story short, I ended up becoming the owner of that store and kept them on as employees, because I just couldn't keep losing money. So we had that one. Then we moved that one. Then I had another store with a friend. He ended up leaving. I ended up buying him out. And then I moved those 2 one time each. So technically 4 same stores twice, but just moving.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Stores I sold out to another field or a promoter, and he ran it for years, and then it finally went away. So
gotcha.
But you know how that is. It's the life of football.
I do. It's like getting dropped by your sponsors. Like nobody that's been in paintball for any length of time hasn't been dropped by at least 6 sponsors.
I don't even think you're allowed to say sponsors anymore. They don't exist.
Wait, that's not the correct term anymore.
What's the correct term?
I don't know, but we should come up with one tonight.
Discount teams.
No, like monetary supply base, or let's see, no, monetary supply hub. I don't know. I'll think of it in a minute. Something will pop
right.
in my brain.
Hey, you think of it. We'll copyright it like Gene Simmons did to the dollar sign, and we'll just make our killing.
That's it, man. We'll dress up in makeup at the next show. It'll be awesome.
Moncaster says our discounted teams.
Oh yes, there you go. Jay's always got it.
JT is saying discount equipment partner.
That's awesome. That's a good one.
Okay, we're taking that one. He gets 5%.
No,
Jeff
1%.
is or JT is a boonie boy up here in Canada.
Awesome.
You notice that DEP sounds a lot like DAP.
Yes, exactly.
Like discount equipment partner. Sean's commenting on my water glass. I talk a lot. I need water.
There you go. See, I've got my rental water cup. It's basically a tank wrap for our rental tanks, but I put on mine so I know it's mine.
Fair enough.
He'll put his face on everything.
It's got my name, so it's mine.
See, I would put a sticker on this, but I don't want it to lose the stickers in the dishwasher.
Ah, that's a good point. Well, we can only hand wash this, so you know.
Yeah, I don't hand wash anything that I don't have to.
Okay, I got a wife. That's awesome.
Just nah. I my dishwasher's quieter. Just saying. Than
and
my
it's not me. Someone's probably thinking that.
No,
we get that question a lot.
I'm sorry. What was? I'm sorry. I missed that.
We get asked a lot if I'm his wife when we go out.
Oh yeah.
Like if we go out like without my mom or something. I was like, no.
No, she's my kid.
I'm just tall.
So when did you start playing, Zoe? Like birth?
I think like 7, because that was the legal age you could be on the field.
Gotcha.
And it was at TXR, which is another field.
They're good friends of ours.
Oh yeah.
See, the beauty of paintball is a lot of players don't know that most of the field owners are all friends, because we all have the same schedule. So we all hang out together because that's the only friends we can have, because everybody else has jobs that when we're off.
Right.
And then we go to each other's fields on like when we take days off, because you don't want to play at your own field.
Yeah.
You want to go somewhere else.
Fair enough. And the other thing too is, and at least was what was my experience, was if there's multiple fields, if bookings start to overlap, or if paint runs low, or like this, you can, if as long as you're friends with the other fields, you help them, they help you. There gets to be a bit of a symbiotic relationship going for fields that are close.
Yeah,
especially now with, I hate to say it, but since COVID, all the fields have been experiencing more problematic people. So it's nice to be like, hey, we just had this group leave. If they come out, like, hey, maybe just keep an eye out. And it's pretty nice because we've got, I think, 6 fields by us. So we've definitely been able to be like, hey, you've caused trouble at 4 other fields. No, thank you. So it's super nice.
So the field owners won't even let them in.
That makes sense.
Yes.
So
I only had to do that to 3 people that I can think of in my life.
We've got a small list, but it's definitely like, hey, if you're causing trouble, no, all the field owners talk.
So, you've got 6 fields that are close to each other. Like, how far away are we talking?
Within an hour.
Wow.
But they're mostly speedball fields, which we're not. So it's nice. So we can be like, hey, that's not what we want to do right now. Here's all the others.
See, I learned the magic secret of ownership of fields, how to survive, is after having a field that had 7 airball fields, ran a tournament series for 13 seasons. And after I shut that tournament series down and walked away and just started concentrating on birthday parties and rec ball players, it's amazing how I went from eating mac and cheese to nice ramen noodles. You know? So, and then over the years we've grown and we've just really become more of a beginner facility. And we have advanced players that come out. Like we run 4 different sessions on our players. So we're mainly rec ball, or we're exclusively rec ball. But the beauty of us is we've gone 90% 50 cal. The only really 68 cal that we get is people that bring their own equipment, or their friends will come in. They'll come to play with their friends and they don't have 68, and we'll rent out a few 68s. But we literally have gone to strictly 50 cal, and the players like it.
The moms love it.
The moms love it. The beauty of talking to people is when you explain to them, oh, that friend that everybody has that friend that played in college or high school and came home with all the bruises. Well, you're not going to see that with the 50 cal because it's lighter equipment. It's a smaller ball. The impact's less. It stings less. So it's more fun. So we get a lot more private parties and younger birthday parties with the 50 cal than we ever have. And even the players, like we do a lot of corporate events, and I'm on the board of director for several charities in my area. And so we host a lot of events for charities and fundraisers for different events. And we push the 50 cal, and it's amazing how many people come out and go, oh, when I played, gosh, I had these giant whelps and bruises, and my, everybody thought I had some sort of disease. And they go home and they get to finish playing, and they have like maybe a red mark or a small whelp from getting shot up close. So it's awesome to go from being in that total tournament scene to now being in the rec ball and just promoting fun and having a great time. It's just so much easier.
Jay, you can't be telling all of our secrets. We go to the fancy, what is it, H Mart? So we get like the $2 a packet ramen.
Yeah, we don't get the 5 for $1. We get the better stuff now.
We get the fancy ramen now.
I just want to say, when you say mac and cheese, that's fighting words up here in Canada, just so you know, because we have craft dinner.
Okay,
right?
Yeah, I know that, and I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the charities I work with, one of my friends in Canada, has the comic book Jeff Bailey. He actually was helping me buy a truckload of craft dinners to bring to Texas for a charity that I'm close to called Lunches of Love.
Right.
And we feed kids that, it's amazing, and as I've gotten older and slowed down and I'm around a lot more people, my charity sense has kicked in. So I work with a lot of great people, and just working with the police departments they train at my field. The canines come out and train at our property. The SWAT teams use airsoft. We also run airsoft. The SWAT teams come out and I let them use airsoft to train. So it's a lot. I've met a lot of great people over the years. And the beauty of it is that when you meet people like Jeff and other people that are in the paintball industry and kind of have the same loves and wants to make people happier, it's just great. I mean, it's like people ask me, how do you do the same job every day? It's not a job. I mean, I love it. Every day is an adventure for me. And I know that sounds lame, but every day something new pops up and it makes my day.
That I miss working in the paintball industry, which is one of the reasons why I did this, because I don't know if I want to be a field manager or whatnot. And I'm too old to be a ref every single weekend. I just can't.
Well, we have a lady that has been a friend of ours for a long time. She's 45, and she called me one day. I had posted up on our Facebook page where we're looking for people, and she messaged me and said, "Hey, can I call you?" And I said, "Yeah." So she called me. She goes, "Hey, how much does that job pay?" And I said, "Well, $10 an hour plus tips." And I said, most refs make an average on $50 to $100 a day on tips if you run X amount of parties. And she's like, "Awesome. How can you send me an application?" And I kind of laughed because I thought she was joking, because if you see Dawn is she is a Barbie. She looks like a Barbie. Her makeup is perfect. Her nails are always done. She drives a bright red Jeep with skulls on it, and she rescues dogs and stuff. So I laughed at her, and she's like, "Are you?" She goes, "Is that wrong?" And I'm like, "No, are you serious?" And she's like, "Yeah." She goes, "I want to do it for the exercise." And I'm like, "Okay." So she only works on Sunday. She works 6 days a week at her regular job, which she owns a high-end boutique that resells women's clothing and knickknacks and stuff.
Right.
So when she showed up, she's like, "Yeah, I need some pants and I need this and I need that." So I ordered her pants in, she got her boots, and she shows up for work. She got her own backpack. She decorated her goggles, and we started laughing because she's awesome. And so when she did her first birthday party, myself and a couple of other guys were like, "Okay, you watch. She's not going to do anything because all the dads are going to help her." And sure enough, she went to go move something, and a dad's like, "Oh, I got that for you," and picked it up. So the joke is she doesn't ref any harder than she needs to because she just has to look at a parent and they'll do it for her. And so it's awesome. And then we have another gentleman that played at my field when he was younger. He's 41 now, and he strictly works on Saturdays for exercise. And it's awesome to have the adults at the field because we try to hire 17 and up. And it's cool because some of them are afraid to talk to me, so they'll talk to the other adults in the company. And they'll be like, "What do I do?" And they're like, "Just be yourself." So it's awesome to see older refs. And we get a lot of applications since COVID because so many people are out of work. So I love it. I mean, it's awesome seeing the people that come through our door.
Oh, I don't get me wrong. I really love reffing. But I just, when it comes to slugging the tables and whatnot, I don't know.
It's hard.
Jeff Hunter. I see you, Jeff Hunter.
So I work at the field like 7 days a week pretty much now. I just quit my second job because I'm doing 7 days a week now at the field.
Right.
But when the days were open, I'm front counter because I know what it needs to be. I can run it most efficiently.
Right.
But I like to ref in the cooler weather.
Jeff Hunter,
and the guys are always making fun of me because they're like, every winter you say you're going to ref, but you never do. And I'm like, well, who's going to do the front counter? You guys tell me when I leave for a weekend, like, you can't leave again. What are you going to do?
So
we got to give a shout out to Jennifer Montresor.
Oh, hey, Jennifer.
So, and then
Jason too.
Jason Tilsey said, "I started a podcast for the Houston area where we talk to the local divisional players and trying to grow the sport." That's awesome.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. He plays at he said it earlier, but I think Zone South, which is a little less than an hour from us. But yeah, he's local too.
Awesome. Well, Jason, I'm going to give you a little tip. Doing local stuff is fantastic, but it really limits your fan base, and this podcasting is a lot of work. So the best thing you can do is, represent as many local people as you can, but spread out globally because you want to have as much interest as possible. So that's just one podcaster to another, my friend. Staying local for the amount of work you do, you'll burn out because it's a lot of work for 2-3 people that are actually going to watch. So
listen to that, Jason. It's from somebody that knows.
Somebody's been banging his head against the wall for the last 2 years. So
I don't know
2 years plus. How do I do it? I'll be honest with you. I love it. You guys are having fun right now, right? Like I can tell by your smile and your body language, right?
Yeah.
I have this much fun every single week. Like no matter how bad things are going in life and whatnot, I get on the show and it feels like I'm going to the field on a weekend. It's just, I'm not getting shot at and I'm comfortable. And yeah.
Yes. So Jason wants to know if he can share his link.
Okay, so
advertising, send me a check for $19.95 and I'll advertise you. And then Steve wants $199.95.
No, I don't need that much. Truthfully,
okay.
I tend to share as long as it's paintball content. I like to share it as long as two things. A, it's paintball content, and B, it's not overlapping on my time when I'm talking. Yeah. So if the show is on Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, then I'm not going to share your link because I'm not going to say, "Hey, go watch somebody else." That doesn't work for me.
So let me interject this. So I actually caught one of his deals. He does his from a field, from the actual field.
And
so
that's
it's kinda
awesome.
cool. So if I remember correctly, I think he interviews players and stuff. I kind of caught it one day.
I think I
searching.
shared it.
Yeah,
Or someone shared it.
Somebody
I
shared
saw
it. We saw it on our, and so it was kind of cool. I just have, there's not enough hours in the day as it is for me to do everything. So I don't get to catch a lot of the stuff, and that's why and please don't hate me. That's why I'm not like on your like Justin, Justin, Reaper. He gets upset. He texts me all the time, like, "How come you don't get on my show?" I'm like, "Man, I just walked in the door. I just haven't eaten dinner yet."
We were still at the field about an hour ago.
Yeah.
We were still at the field and we were like, "Oh, we got to get home. Like, we got the show in like 45 minutes." So
I mean,
it's all good. I understand people have lives. That's one of the reasons why I try to make sure that the show goes on YouTube.
I think that's
because that way, anybody that wants to see the show, they don't have to be live. They can just click on after the fact, and they can just watch it on YouTube, and they don't have to go through all the gobbledygook of what scrolls through on Facebook. You know what I mean? Like, it just is better. Plus, YouTube actually has a higher video output. Facebook is only 720p, whereas YouTube actually goes full high def. So
exactly. Yeah, a lot of the guys, we get a lot of players that come out and they'll do, especially since we've gotten into the airsoft in the past 4 or 5 years. We have a couple employees that have gotten into airsoft. They do paintball and airsoft, and so they'll do unboxings and things, and they'll put it on their YouTube page, and then we throw it on our Facebook page for people to see, and it's really kind of cool. So, like Dan Lee, which is one of our staff members at the other gentleman I told you about, he plays paintball. He's on a paintball or a scenario team for paintball. Has a great time. I support all these guys as much as I can. They'll come to me and say, "Hey, we want to give a Young Guns package." I'm like, "Cool. What do you need?" And I think before EMACs were hard to get, I used to give away an EMAC and a hopper and a tank and a goggles, and then now you can't find EMACs except on the the black market and
or they're super beat up because
exactly.
someone tried to like modify the body somehow.
So now we're going through a kind of a resurrection, if you will, of MagFed. We've always had MagFed, but it seems we've gotten the younger crowd involved now. So we run a MagFed day on the second Saturday. And we're seeing a lot more younger kids that are getting into MagFed. And I started carrying 50 cal MagFed guns. And it was great because now that First Strike makes the 50 cal First Strikes, the kids are having a ball with it. And what I tried to explain, people are asking me, well, why do you carry the 50 cal versus the 68? I go, you can carry twice as much ammo in the same mag. And you carry 4 magazines, you're carrying twice as much as the guy carrying a 68. And they're like, oh, that's a great idea. So when we do the MagFeds, the 68 guys will play with the 50 cals, and they get upset because the 50 cal guys can snipe pretty well with that. But the beauty of these guys that like Jason and some of these other guys that come up from the fields and do their own little podcast and do their articles and do their videos and stuff, it's really wonderful because it helps the players that are coming into the sport. And that's why I try to share them on our Facebook and our sites, because I want the players to have this information so they can make great decisions and get great equipment. Because I remember, I can't tell you how many people came through our stores and would be like, well, first question was, well, what's your budget? I'm not trying to take all your money. I'm just trying to give you the best equipment that I can give you for the amount of money you want to spend. And they always thought I was trying to gouge them. And so I would be like, no, I want to give you the best equipment you can afford so that you have a better time. Because I can sell you this stuff here, but you're going to be back and then you're going to be angry at me when it doesn't work after a month because it's not designed to play for every weekend. So it's awesome for all these young players and these people that get involved and with social media and everything. It's a huge boost for the field owners because it helps us. And I love it when they come out and they want to do videos at the field or they want to film games and do whatever. I love it. I like, it's actually a clause in our waiver. Like, we get to see it all, but in the past couple of years, I don't even really, unless I'll find out if it's super negative because somebody will send it to me.
Right.
But I've only
Super
had
quickly too.
Yeah, super quick. Like as soon as it hits, somebody will be like, hey, you want to check this out? We've only had a couple instances where we've had negative videos, and it was just these kids that want to go out and beat up on other kids, and they film it and they do the music and they do the things. And so I'll email that kid and say, hey man, you need to shut that down. They're like, you can't tell me. And I'm like, oh, let me send you the waiver that you signed. And they're like, oh, okay. All right. No problem. I'll take it down. I go, just redo it without the negativity. Just do a good video. And
Right.
so it's awesome to be able to turn those guys around. And like I said, they help so much. And the field owners, some field owners don't like it. I like it because I want these kids to grow up and be happy. And I mean, all the kids that have been through our fields all the years, a handful of kids that I thought were never going to amount to anything have shocked me. One of them's an international pilot for FedEx, flies only international routes. Another kid that I thought was just kind of useless. I just kind of gave up on him. Has a family now, and he owns a pool company in our city, and he's just turned himself around, and it's awesome. And somebody else mentioned this the other day, and I'm just gonna catch this real quick, but it's beautiful to be a field owner and have these kids that you come in and kind of adopt on a weekly basis because they you know, like the parents are divorced or the dad works all the time or the mom works all the time. So they kind of latch onto the field, and you bring them in and you kind of coach them and you teach them and you help them in life and you kind of mold them and help them become better. And it's beautiful every year. And I say beautiful because I love it. Every year, all the invitations I get for graduations to go see these kids walk and you know, just kind of.
We babysit a lot.
I mean, it's not really even babysitting. I mean, it's just it's awesome seeing these kids blossom into adults.
Oh yeah, I've had a couple like that. Daryl being one. Although Daryl was never a bad kid. Like I call him a punk because he was just like, but he was in cadets and he had good parents, but he just lived close to the field because the field was actually called Phaser Zone, and it actually shot rubber balls that would glow in the dark. And the field owners had created vests that would take the impacts, and there was a scoreboard. So the whole basement of this building was converted into this giant black light area.
Oh,
and
that's
if you
cool.
can imagine 68 caliber balls that are flying, it's like being in the middle of Star Wars. It was wild.
Oh, it's almost like a zombie hunt nowadays with the
Clay.
With the UV balls.
We haven't even talked about Jelly Ball yet.
Yeah.
No, we haven't.
No, we got to talk about that.
Jay mentioned that earlier, but we just glossed right over it.
So before we talk about Jelly Ball, we got 20 people watching right now, and we're 45 minutes in. Why don't we give away that T-shirt while we're at it?
Let's do that.
And then we'll switch on to Jelly Ball. But let's get this going right now. So for those of you that don't know, I gave everybody the opportunity for the last day to sign up on my Facebook group to sign up for a T-shirt because these fine people at Tanks Paintball are giving away 2 T-shirts, one today, one next week. So I have put everybody that I've got the name in so far. All right.
Sorry, Jay. It's because you don't send us maple syrup anymore.
And I have a stream going, or a wheel. So we got 11 people so far, and I'm quite sure next week will be much larger. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin this 3 times. The first 2 times are just so that you can see it's random, and then the third time will be who wins. You guys got that?
Sounds good.
All right, sounds good. So let's give this a spin, and let's see who goes first.
Maybe Jeff Hunter will win it.
Oh,
Chris Cox.
I was about to say if Zach,
I'll just send one to Chris anyway because he needs one.
Pardon?
Chris gets one because he needs one anyway.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get to the next trial run. All right. And the next trial run is Canadian Sean.
Sean helping. Did I butcher that too bad?
No, that's pretty much perfect. Sean's a really good guy. I talk to him on a regular basis. All right. So let's go for the final one. This one's for the shirt, everybody.
Well, I have a sneaking suspicion Jay Muncaster is not going to win on this one.
It's gonna be. I was gonna be like a Lupe.
Of course, it's Connor. It's the Thunder from Down Under.
Awesome.
So that shirt's actually going to Australia. So Connor seems to win everything here. I kind of don't want him to win on general principle alone. But
You'll have to do a fourth.
You know what?
spin.
Let's do another spin just for the heck of it.
Okay. So the next person is going to be the one that wins?
No, Connor gets one, and then I'll do another one. We'll do 2 tonight.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. All right. So let's do one more. I can't believe Connor's such a great guy.
Oh my God!
This is not.
Okay, one more time. Connor's got it rigged.
This is not
I
rigged.
think this is rigged.
No, I think Connor's got it rigged.
Oh,
Lupe. Well, that won't cost you much to ship.
All right. So apparently, if I remember correctly, we were joking around earlier. Lupe's like really close to you guys.
he's
Yes.
like 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
He actually plays at one of the local, or Haley plays at one of the local fields.
That's his daughter. So she works there, and then she plays there, and then she plays on Destiny.
Oh, gotcha. All right. So I don't know if Connor was watching or not. I'm surprised if he's not. He usually is. But yeah.
I think someone tagged him.
Yeah, somebody tagged him a minute ago.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Anything Connor touches turns to gold. By the way, have you guys met Kenny Stewart?
No,
I feel like his name looks familiar.
it does for me. But I don't know.
All right. So the cool thing about Kenny is he has please forgive me, Kenny, but if I butcher it, but he has a paintball museum. And he was in.
That's where I know the name from.
Yeah. So he's now in, I believe, Detroit or something like that.
Yes.
Lupe in the shirt.
I'm sorry. What was that, Zoe?
Lupe.
Lupe just got on.
Yeah.
So I've read many things about that because Josh Silverman, which do you know Josh? Yep. So Josh has like, I think every gun that's ever been made, every paintball marker. And I think he actually had helped or done something with, if I remember correctly, when Kenny was trying to build it all. I don't remember. I could be wrong, but it's awesome to have somebody like that is keeping track of that. Because like my goal is we're going to build a new facility in 4 years. It's going to be our biggest and best. We're just decided we're going to do something really, really, really great. So I've kept every marker that I've ever owned, and I've bought every marker that I can get my hands on that I've never owned, so that I can do a wall, and then every team jersey that I've ever been able to get my hands on, plus all the jerseys I've had over the years. I think I have like 185 jerseys from different players and myself and everything. So those are all going to go up as, just for people to see, because it's awesome to show that to people walk in and go, oh my gosh, what is that? It's like, oh, those are jerseys. And it's just great to kind of share that nostalgia. Because people don't.
If anyone has any Destiny, Archon, or Chronic jerseys they want to part with, let me know. I'm always hunting on the Facebook for some more.
But it's just awesome to have the nostalgia stuff, because a lot of people don't realize how old paintball is.
Right. So. No, most people don't know. They either think it's much, much older, or they think it just got invented like 6 months ago.
Yeah, like that kid that comes out with the new Mini and's like, yeah, I got this for Christmas, and man, I just like started playing, and like, where'd all these people come from? Why do they have better guns? I'm like, well, dude, it's been out for a couple years now. You're just now catching on. Oh, really? I'm like, yeah, it's all good though, but we're gonna learn you.
So JT just said that he can send a Booney Boys jersey to Texas.
We'll take it. We'll put it up. I'll send him a Tanks paintball jersey.
Jay, I'm on my way. And some Chop Shop stuff.
Yes.
So now everybody can't see it. I'm just doing knife hands.
Yes. Stop.
So we were going to talk Jelly Ball.
Yes.
Quick. So all this is a new thing.
Oh, I didn't bring one with me. Huh? I didn't bring one home. So Jelly Ball is something that I was asked to be involved in. Clay Weger is the guy that brought it in and started making it big. And he had another field owner in San Antonio that's been a friend of mine for a long time, Mike R., got involved in it. And so then they came to me and asked me what I thought, and I got involved, and I've been helping them grow and do things. But Jelly Ball is really kind of cool. It's huge in Australia, and just in the past, I guess 8 months, they've outlawed that now, and so that's no longer. But Jelly Ball is basically a polymer shelled salt. So when you put it in water, it's a little small pellet. Picture the size of a pin, the ball, roller ball on a pin. It's about that, a little bit bigger than that. And then when you put it in water, it swells up to about 8 millimeters. So a little bit bigger than a airsoft BB. So when you shoot it, it shatters and it leaves just a minor drop of water on you. But when it shatters, because it's salt, you basically can't find it. And then when it dehydrates, there's no residue. There's nothing left. So it doesn't leave a mess. The balls are different colors. And we actually started a company called jellyball.com. And we sell to fields and stores. And some of our bigger markets are outside of paintball, believe it or not. And but a lot of field owners have jumped on and been real receptive of it. And so last year I stepped into it really big and brought it into my field and started promoting it. And then I ran my first year using it for zombie hunt because we offer a UV ball. So we had our best zombie hunt in the 7 years we've been offering zombie hunt. This past year, those zombies weren't afraid to get shot, so they were moving closer, obviously, because we started out with 68 like everybody else. Then we moved to 50 cal, and then now the Jelly Ball. So they were moving closer. The players liked the guests liked it because instead of getting 100 paintballs or the UV balls, they were getting 650 Jelly Balls. So it would last the whole 12 to 13 minute ride. Right. And so they felt they were getting more money when you charge $25 for this ride and you run out of UV paintballs in the first turn because you've shot at everything that moves and there's still more zombies around the corner. So the Jelly Balls come a long way. The beauty of it is we offered at our field for kids 5 and up because it allows the brothers and sisters that come to the paintball parties to be able to play. So just recently, as of this past weekend, we actually have it finished. I bought what everybody calls a carport, but I bought a big one. It's 40 feet wide, 60 feet long.
Oh my goodness.
Bless you.
Tight.
Thank you.
And I netted it and I put UV lights and I put floodlights in it. And then we took plywood and cut it and painted it cool colors and made everything. So we built an arena so we can run little parties like for 6 kids and less. And so we started this past weekend and it was a huge hit and the kids love it because even up close within 10 feet, you can shoot somebody and it stings like you pop somebody with a rubber band.
Right.
But they're laughing so hard that it doesn't phase them. Right. And then there's no cleanup. So when it does rain, we all know that traditional smell of paintballs in the morning after nice rain.
I love that smell. Don't take that away from me.
No, we
still have it.
We still have it on the rest of the property, but the beauty of it is that
it's like mold and fear.
Exactly. Yes, it is. It's like, that's exactly it. So when you're drinking your Dr. Pepper in the morning and eating your cheese crackers for breakfast, which most Texans do here, that's the power breakfast of Texans. You smell that aroma as you're sitting on the picnic table waiting to open, and that's the beauty of it. But
okay, I have to interrupt for just 1 second because we talked about breakfast. If/when I make it to your field, and it's more likely when,
yes,
I want to be eating biscuits and gravy while driving the tank.
I can make you some.
Okay, we can. Okay, so
I will make something so that it can't strip out. I want to make a mess, but the whole point is biscuits and gravy and a tank
and a Dr. Pepper to wash it down.
Yeah, but you see, I can drink any soda or pop in Texas because you guys call all that Dr. Pepper.
No,
it's called
soda.
Coke. It's called Coke.
Oh.
So if you go in, it could be a Pepsi, it could be a 7-Up, it could be an orange soda. Let me have a Coke. And the waitress will be like, what flavor?
Diet Coke.
So, but when you get into the deep South, it's just Dr. Pepper.
See, I don't like Dr. Pepper.
So
I'm weird that way. I know, because I'll be honest, and this is the weirdest thing. I'll crack open a can, I'll take my first sip, and those first 2-3 sips are like the best thing ever. And then after that, I don't even want to look at it. I can't. First 3 mouthfuls, I love, and then I just can't. Weird.
So Jay's making fun of your biscuits and gravy thing.
Everybody makes fun of my biscuits and gravy thing.
So
see, Zach got in on it. Jay got in on it. You can't get biscuits and gravy up here in Canada.
So you
can't get
biscuits and gravy through the drive-through here.
Oh yeah, you can get biscuits and gravy.
It might not
tacos.
be the best, but you can get it through the drive-through, so you don't have to wait on it. But we'll take you to a really good place that makes it from scratch.
Oh, a chicken fried steak.
Yes.
And see, can't get that here either. I went to the Lone Star Bar and Grill, which is a Texas bar, right?
In Canada?
And I was in Canada, and I was totally excited because I could actually get chicken fried steak at this bar. And I went up, and please don't think I'm being homophobic, but I had a waiter come up to me who was very, and how are you doing this evening? Like, I'm talking amplified. I'm not judging him. I'm describing him. So just to be clear, everybody, please don't. And I said, I would like, and I was on a date, and I'd been talking to my date about how much I love.
Or with your?
I was with my date, not on with the waiter.
Okay, just checking. I wanted to clarify.
No judgment.
I'm not judging you. I just wanted to know how to. I'm following it.
Fair enough. All right. So I brought my date along, and I'd been telling her how much I love biscuits and gravy and how I was excited or not biscuits and gravy, chicken fried steak. And with the country gravy on it stuff, I was really excited, right? So I got there, and the waiter's like, "Oh, you don't want to order that?" Yes, I do. No, you don't. Yeah, I actually do. Do you know what it is? I'm like, yes. I don't think it is what you think it is. So I just turned. I was like, have you ever been to Texas? He's like, no. I said, I have. I love this. Please bring me my chicken fried steak. Anyway.
There's no chicken in it.
No, there's no chicken in it. It's just battered steak.
But
deep fried.
You did not know that.
I knew that. He didn't think I knew that.
Exactly. He thought you were wanting chicken, but there's no chicken in it.
No. So. Unless you order chicken fried chicken.
There you go. But then that's just fried chicken.
Without bones.
True. Then it's a chicken nugget. A large
bigger.
It's a Texas-sized chicken nugget.
It's a schnitzel at that point.
Oh, yeah, that's it. But no, it's great. It's amazing when you leave Texas, and I really don't have the Texas accent as much as I used to. So when I leave Texas and people find out I'm from Texas, they're like, "You don't sound like you're from Texas." I'm like, "Well, I'm from the San Diego side of Texas." And they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm on the southern side." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And they just walk away because they don't understand what I'm trying to say. We all don't talk like hillbillies here. And
unfortunately.
So how many?
Mad I do.
So let's touch on that talk for a minute. So how many Canadian shows, so through our Roku, we got on a Canadian kick. We were watching Canadian shows,
right?
And we were watching Australian shows. And so it was amazing. How many times do you guys watch a show that is filmed in Canada somewhere, and the accent is totally wrong because it's an American actor or an actor that is not true Canadian? So picture that and magnify that 20 times when you have somebody trying to talk with a Texas accent and the twang. So you get Johnny Depp trying to talk Texan, and it just doesn't sound right. And you just they're making us look like idiots. So how many times does that happen to you? Like, you watch a show and you're like, that is just making Canadians look bad. I'm just going to turn this off now.
Well, I'll be honest. Canadian.
This guy called me a killer whale.
No. Killer Whale Tank is actually a song by a Canadian band.
Ah, okay. That makes sense then.
And I was actually teasing Zach because we were talking about Canadian music. I said, okay, you have to start listening to some Tragically Hip. He's like, okay, I'll give it a try. I said, my favorite one is Killer Whale Tank, which is a live version of New Orleans is Sinking. And to be fair, they wrote and produced the song 5 or so years before New Orleans sank. So they're not being disrespectful. It's just life imitating art, if you will.
It was like The Simpsons. You watch Simpsons to see what's going to happen in 10 years from now.
Right.
I don't watch it.
Do you ever watch The Simpsons?
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'll send you some Simpsons.
No. I have had a lot of people send me clips and whatnot. I can't get into adult contemporary cartoons. I can't.
I don't watch it a lot, but it's just it makes me laugh sometimes. So I like clips, but I don't watch, like, there's people that watch it religiously and can regurgitate it on demand. Like a mother feeding a baby bird. No, not me. Jay Muncaster. Oh, okay. So you answered his question for me. He was confused.
Yes. I think you and I are in a conversation. That's the funny thing about this show is we'll be in a conversation and we forget that there are anywhere from 10 to 50 people at any given time watching and following along and having their own conversation.
Yes, exactly. So what's the most amount of people you've had on any of your show? Like, what's your top number?
It's hard to answer that question
because they come and
go. They come and go. But also I actually broadcast on multiple platforms simultaneously.
Okay.
So
okay.
Yeah. So I'm on, I think 3 or 4 different Facebook pages or groups.
Okay.
Plus YouTube and Twitch. So, and this is all simultaneously. So we're live on YouTube right now. We're live on Twitch right now. We're live on Paintball Media Magazine's page, which is like 40,000 people. We're on my page. We're on Denver Expendables. And I think that's it.
On Pornhub.
Yeah,
I beg your pardon.
Pornhub. Let me look though, real quick. No, he's not there. There's a movie just like it, but I'm going to watch it later. And I think Jay Muncaster's in it.
Could very well be.
Jeff Hunter's got a speaking part. Do you know Jeff Hunter?
I don't know if I do or if I don't. If I do, it's only in passing.
So Jeff Hunter is one of those guys that if you meet him, you'll never forget him because he's like the kindest, most gentle, biggest giant you'll ever meet. So he's like Andre the Giant, but plays paintball.
Nice.
So he's super cool guy. He played on a team that we supported, and he did a bunch of stuff with Archon when Jay and I and Chris Cox and all those guys worked with Archon and Zap. And we've just been friends over the years. And I was just talking to B the other night, and we were talking about how awesome it would be to just have a resurrection of a Huntington Beach event. Just everybody show up.
We're going to make it happen.
And it would just be so cool to see everybody come out of the woodwork and come to that event and just be like, this is so cool. Because those were like the best times. And now it's still fun, but it was just totally different back then. Not like it is now.
I never made it to Huntington Beach. I actually never made it to any of those events. My first NXL events have all been in the last 2 years. Believe it or not. I mean, I came down to the States, but I was always for Hell Survivors or going to what's Blues Field again off the top of my head?
EMR.
Thank you. There's so many.
September.
Pardon?
I'm going there in September.
Oh, I'm
excited.
I love EMR. Are they giving you are you renting a hotel or are they giving you a bunkie?
I think I'm going to do a hotel because it looks like there's a bunch of us from my field that want to go because they moved it 1 weekend later this year, so it's actually on my birthday. So I was like, hey, for my birthday this year, I want a flight. That's what I'm going to go do.
So we're going to send her on her way so we can have a quiet weekend.
Well, does Blue still own it? I know he stepped away, and then I thought he got back involved. I've lost track.
He's still involved, last I heard, but I try not to pull those cards. I like to just kind of.
We're the kind of field owners that we don't go in and we don't like to ask for things. We want to pay our way because we want everybody to succeed.
No, I get that, but at EMR, they have bunkies. And if you bring enough people, you get given a bunkie. So if you travel from a distance, it's like, I call them ice huts. I don't think you'd know what that is, but like a fishing ice hut. But it's like a giant shed, and then they've got multiple bunkies, and it's right on the field.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go anywhere, and they just give it to you. Now, certain teams that are there all the time, they have their own bunkie, which they've painted themselves. And this is going back to the 90s. I haven't been there recently, but they'll put their own air conditioner in it. They'll put in a satellite dish. They do. And so every weekend they travel to EMR, and they have their own cabin, if you will.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to share a cabin with everyone that wants to go, though.
Oh, they have habits.
Yes, very, very vast array of different people. So
fair enough. Well, I'm just saying that I absolutely love, like, that was one of the biggest thrills when I went down with the Lords of Discipline.
Okay.
The reffing team, because I reffed there for one thing, and that was the biggest surprise shock I have, because that's so not legal up in Canada. Just not legal.
Those guys are awesome, because when I had Big Man Paintball and we were supplying paintball in the U.S., Zap paintballs,
right?
Joe Stayback, we'd go to his. We did several events with him where we supplied paint, and so I met those guys, and those guys are awesome. And then Phoenix Mayhan, the one-woman paintball team. I don't know if you know of her, but she kind of fell off the face of the earth. She got into other things, and now she's back playing. But it's just wonderful meeting all those people, and just all the relationships through all the years of meeting people, and being, like, hey, you can crash on my couch if you come to town or whatever. And we've had so many players sleep on our couches over the years. Rocky Cagnoni, Chris Lasoya, Greg Hastings, all those guys are family to us. And they come to our house, and they just like, hey guys, make yourself at home,
It's always so funny when people hear that.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you had those guys sleep on your couch?
They've known me since I was 6.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'll never forget the time Mike Paxton and Greg Paxton, myself, Zoey had just gotten a trampoline.
Oh my God.
And Rocky, we were all had been drinking adult beverages, and we decided we were going to jump on the trampoline
with me on it,
with her on it. And so
I was like 8.
So it was great because Rocky, was trying to be very. He felt he was in an Olympic mode and wanted to show everybody his techniques. So anyway, needless to say, we broke the trampoline on the first day we got it. So it was okay, but we had a great time, and those are memories that.
Oh yeah.
My kid will have forever, and I'll have, because all I could think about was, do we need to take him to the hospital?
Now, was that memories, or is she emotionally scarred?
It's probably emotionally scarred, but we call it a memory.
Look,
very good.
Hastings' bag has made it into our house, so that's probably.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Kelly tried to Lysol all of his stuff one night because she woke up. What's that smell? And we had to put it in the garage. So he's proud of not washing his gear.
Yeah, Greg Hastings is the guy that has the pants that he just yeah.
And top and matching top. So
we like him though.
He's all right. We like him. He's family. So, but it's like all the years you meet these people like Jay and Scott Berlemont and Chris Cox and all these different guys that have come through, and we've met and spent time with them and traveled, and it's just it's those memories in paintball that nobody can ever take away.
It was
absolutely.
It was so funny. The first year I went to Cup was 2019, before everything got shut down. I went to go help B with all the teams, and it was so funny. Like, she'd introduce me to like all the different people. And I'd be like, oh, wait, like, I've heard all of this about you. Like, knowing all of these people but never actually meeting them was pretty cool. And they're like, oh, I've known all the different people who were like, oh, I've known you since you were like 4. And I have to be like, I have no idea who you are.
I mean, it's like when she was born, Gino Pastorivo and I've been friends for a long time. We've done a lot of business together. And so this giant teddy bear shows up at the hospital, the day after she's born. And it's from Gino and those guys. And it's just, we've all in the industry, we've kind of had our stalemates and our budding and stuff. But when it comes down to family, we all take care of each other,
Agreed.
And it's awesome. Like if Gino called me today and said, "Hey, I need a favor," and be like, "What do you need? What can I do?" Same thing with, and this is going way back with like Jeff Perlmutter and Jeff Freeman from the old days, and those guys. And I'll tell you, I mean, they gave me some advice in paintball that I'll never forget, and I still run some of that today that they've mentioned, and it's great to have those people in your world when you're getting into the industry. And so I try to help new field owners. I try to give them advice, and some of them are like, "Oh yeah, whatever." And then they learn the hard way, like, "Oh, I should have listened to him 2 years ago. Otherwise, because now I wouldn't have wasted 2 years." Because everybody, it's that whole thing, like your parents don't know anything, when you're a kid. Oh, my parents, they've probably done it 3 times, and that's why they're telling you not to do it. But it's just great to help the people and meet new players and meet new field owners and talk to them and help them. And again, touching back on Jelly Ball, that's the beauty of Jelly Ball, is that when Clay and Mike and those guys came to me about this, I said, one concept that I really wanted to promote was, and a lot of people have gotten away from this, is the customer service base of promotion for our company, the Jelly Ball. We are there. I mean, my phone rings all hours of the day, and I get people that have gotten into Jelly Ball that have no clue, and I'll spend 2 to 3 hours, and literally 2 to 3 hours with them, helping them build, how to build a company, because they saw it, they bought it, but they don't understand it. So we have videos that these people that they'll get off of when they become a dealer, they have access to video that we've done, everything. But it's just amazing how many don't grasp the concept. So we spend the time with them, and that used to be how paintball was. Now it's just, and I hate to say it, just pretty much even before COVID, and I've talked to other field owners, people just take orders now. Nobody really, it's just order taking. Nobody sells anymore. Nobody talks to you about products, and it's just, it's all, and of course it's great because we're all making money right now, but when is this going to fall off the cliff and we go back to the, a couple years ago where we were all like, "Oh, it's summertime, it's hot. Oh, we're going to slow down now. I got to let people go or lay people off because I can't afford you." So, but the world's changing, and hopefully if we can just get people back to being kind to each other, that's the biggest problem we see now. It's just people have lost all social skills. I mean, I don't know if you see that, or Canadians are just always happy and nice. So you don't see that there, but any other country you go to, they're just mean. They don't
see. I disagree. Like, I live up here, and I will tell you that Toronto and Ottawa are two of the most anal retentive cities I've ever been in my life.
I've been to Toronto, and I will attest that I agree with that.
Like
yes.
When I go down south, like I went to Chicago for the first time, 2 years ago, right, for the NXL.
Yes.
And all I heard was the school buses have door gunners on the back, and it's the most violent city in the world. And I'm going to Chicago thinking I'm going for paintball. I'm hanging with paintball people. I'm going to be fine. But I was expecting Al Capone and whatnot. And I walked into a Walmart, and I forget what we were after. I know we were after Uncrustables, but I forget what we were after. And and I was talking to people, and they were the most friendly people in Chicago.
Yeah.
Like, I was not expecting the sheer volume of friendliness. And I will on purpose drop out and about where I can, because it throws my accent out there.
Yes. And
people are just like, "You Canadian?" And then people just treat me nicer. And I've learned that as a defense mechanism. But
go ahead.
Go ahead.
So I do have to back up. I've traveled
everywhere,
all over the world numerous times, and met a lot of different people. And I have to back up. I'm just talking about since COVID, people have kind of lost the social skills. I love it. When I used to travel, my favorite thing is to sit in airports. I love layovers for a couple hours because I just like to people watch. It's amazing I'd have my gear bag, or I'd be wearing a Chronic shirt or something, and people would be like, "Are you into paintball?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am." And then you end up making a new friend, and then you find out you're on the same flight, so you talk the whole way home, and then you exchange information, and then you're like, that's a new friend. And it's beautiful. And like you said, going to Chicago, first time I ever went, I was like, I'm in Texas. I carry a gun every day. It's not because I'm afraid. It's just because it's for other things.
Hey, if you've got a fire extinguisher in your house, it's not because you believe there's going to be a fire.
Exactly.
It's not fear. It's prepared.
Well, we're in, we have snakes on the property. We have other animals and things. And it's a tool that I put in my pocket every day, like a knife or anything else.
Yep.
But the first time, like going to Chicago, like you, I had heard all these scary stories. So I get there, and everybody I ran into was so awesome. Like, "Oh, you're from Texas?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they go, "Man, do you have a horse?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's at the airport because we have to park him at the airport, and I leave my hat in the locker because we can't wear our hats on the plane." And I would just joke with them. They're like, "Oh, you're so funny." But it's just, I honestly can say everywhere I've gone in the world, I have not met people that are not nice when you meet them. Now, I've gone places while I've been in those cities and run into people or meet other people that are not nice. My wife's throwing stuff in the room for some reason.
I didn't eat dinner. I'm sorry.
And so it's crazy how, you hear so many people talk about how bad a city is, but it's one or two people that made that possible for that person to not like it.
Right. But, well, I live basically beside Toronto, so I'm there all the time. Anyway, speaking of travel stories, when I was on my way to Vegas, right before COVID hit, I was wearing a JT jacket, and I'm on the train on my way to the airport. Long story, longer trip. And a guy says, "Do you play paintball?" I'm like, "Yeah, I definitely do." It's like, I said, "You recognize the jacket?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Have you ever met Richmond Italia?" Yes, I have. He goes, "He was my best friend in high school. I still talk to him all the time." So I took a selfie of us and I fired that off to Richmond. Richmond never said anything, but yeah, I met Richmond's high school best friend on a train while we were on our way to Vegas. But he wasn't there for paintball. He was just because. But yeah, that's how weird is that for a story?
That's I mean, it's the world's like that. But pro tip for Vegas, anybody that travels to Vegas in the future, and this is many, many years ago, and I can't remember if it was Scott, but I know it was one of the other guys that worked with us at another warehouse. Never go to the gun range and fire fully automatic weapons and then try to get on a plane later without changing your clothes or showering, because you will get stopped, because every red flag in the world pops up because those sensors can sense the gunpowder and all that. So then you have to produce receipts, and they call the place to make sure you were really there. Because, it's just how life is, man. Me and a couple other I can't remember if it was, I don't think Scott was there. I can't remember who was, but there's like three of us that got stuck. We stayed an extra day to sightsee, and we went to the Atomic Museum, and then we said, "Let's go shoot machine guns." I'm like, "Cool, let's go." And then you get stopped at the airport and can't get on for a long time, and they ask you lots of questions.
I actually have a question about Jelly Ball. I just looked at the time and I thought, so I've got to get a couple questions out. You mentioned a couple times that compared Jelly Ball to an ultraviolet lights. Do they glow in the dark when they're hit with an ultraviolet light?
They can.
Yes, we actually have we actually have UV Jelly Balls that we produce, and so you can get them. So basically we produce them so that they come, you can get them, they're dehydrated, they're not hydrated yet. So when you put them in,
like fish eggs.
Yeah, they look like, like salmon eggs almost. And then you put them in the water and they soak up, and then they actually pop really, really well in the light. And I mean, by popping, it's just like they're very, very bright. They're actually more intense than a UV paintball. And that's the beauty of it. Matter of fact, a little bit later, I'll send you a video. I can't put it on there, but I'll send it to you so you can see what I'm talking about. It's a video from when we ran it at our field this past year. But it is. So the beauty of, we actually have several jelly ball dealers. We've got a guy in Georgia that has an indoor-outdoor field, and his indoor is strictly the UV balls. And he is packed when people find out it's that, and they love it. And like our arena that we just built has UV lights in high up so that the lights flood out. And we didn't get to shoot any UV balls this weekend because we were so busy, and then we were tired. We didn't want to stay any longer. But tomorrow night we're testing the UV version so we can film it and everything. But we've come a long way with the jelly ball concept. It's we've actually got tack lights that fit on the bottom because they have Picatinny rails in the bottom of the pistol.
Right.
And we have a UV light flashlight that shines, so you can actually. We've got guys that have taken those and made walkthrough haunts where they hunt zombies walking through, and the balls shoot out of the gun, and the light, brightens it up. But yeah, it's there's so many great things with the jelly ball, and the beauty of it is it's inexpensive, and the profit margin's awesome, and the best part of it is kids enjoy it because they're not afraid of it.
And bridging off that, one of the biggest things I've seen, because now we're working with the NXL now. Like we've had we went to the World Cup, like we were at the Texas event, like we're becoming a bigger thing now. And one of the things I'm seeing often is the players that have been in paintball a while, they're saying it's gonna like hurt paintball, blah blah blah, whatever. It's not like growing the sport or whatever like that. It's entirely different from 50 cal.
Yeah.
So 50 cal and 68 are too similar. You can kind of spin it as intro to paintball or whatever, but this is a much bigger stepping stone to go from nothing to jelly ball. So you can try 50 cal or you can go straight to 68.
Well,
I hate to say it, but it's kind of revolutionary for what it's doing.
It's
my argument. I'm going to interrupt for a second. My argument is, and I'm totally in agreement with you guys, but my argument is that with Jelly Ball, it is an added safe revenue for children to help keep paintball fields afloat. Because with everything going on,
100%,
you nailed it right on the head.
Forget if it's going to hurt paintball or help paintball. It can only help because it adds an extra revenue to a field owner so that they can bring in an entirely different demographic, and then we have a place to play.
A lot of players don't see that, though.
Yeah, a lot of players are dumb.
Quick story on it. So we have an indoor field owner here in Houston that sells laser tag. He used to play paintball professionally. He's from Russia, but he's back. He's in Houston now, lives here.
Sure.
And he has a field here, and I got him turned on to Jelly Ball. He came over to my field and saw it. So he bought a dealer pack, and he's added on. His brother runs a field in Croatia, so they've added it there, and they're doing killer in Croatia. And here in the U.S., or in Houston, he was doing really well with his outdoor laser tag, but the Jelly Ball has taken over all the laser tag parties because it's cheaper for him to run. He makes more profit. It's easier to clean up, and you can run Jelly Ball in a smaller area than you can mobile paintball or any of that stuff.
Bye, Jay.
So it's a great stepping stone, and a lot of field owners are, and I was one to begin with. When I first saw it, I'm like, I'm not really but then as a field owner, looking outside as a field owner, not using like Jay Muncaster uses, like, I'm going to put on my other thinking cap or my paintball cap or whatever. I put on my Jelly Ball cap, and I look at it as a revenue stream that I make a better profit at, and I can bring in younger players, which in turn will play. Then they want to go play paintball. So we opened a whole market up for 5 and up now to play. All those little brothers and sisters that used to have to go to the target range and shoot paintball guns because they couldn't play on the field now can play on a smaller field or another field with other kids on Jelly Ball. And There you go. And I'll stand behind it 100%.
Hey, you're preaching to the choir.
I love it. I mean, let's put it this way. I run 100 to 150 Jelly Ball players a weekend, and my profit margins are greater than paintball.
So are you saying Jelly Ball is Steve approved?
Yes, I am. Well,
all right, Clay, did you get that?
I going back a little bit, I saw the Jelly Ball. I watched it a little bit at the last couple NXL events I was at. So were you guys were there? That was you setting them up? Yeah, I didn't really talk to you much because I was running around. Sorry, what?
Clay was there and Mike was there. I didn't go because when she's gone, I need to be at the field. So when I'm gone, she needs to be at the field.
We can't really package deal.
So we don't get to go together to a lot of things. So
that's where B comes in, though. It's super great.
Yeah. So even B was one of the early adopters of Jelly Ball. I sent her some stuff, and she does stuff in Montana. And matter of fact, I just sent her some more stuff today, some pistols that I got in, because she's starting to warm up there. So they're going to have their festivals and all that stuff, or spring festivals and things. So, but yeah, once people see it and they shoot it and they play it, they're like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun.
Well, I will be 100% honest. Not during the podcast, obviously, but moving forward, I would love to hear a little bit more about it, because I could totally see myself running just like a little birthday party event. Because I've managed fields before. My only two concerns with Canada, because our rules are completely different than yours, is first of all, we're going into our third phase, and it looks like we're looking at another complete lockdown, which sucks. Like, we're a G7 country, and we're like 35th in getting our vaccines and stuff. Like, it's.
Are you guys below Texas?
No comment. Moving on. Second thing is, we have a very liberal government, and I'm not bashing liberals, but we have a very liberal government at the moment, and they are passing C-21. Or forcing it through, which is basically banning all firearms that are, or anything that's firearm replicas. I'm sure you've all heard about that.
Don't we have a Canadian dealer?
Yeah, we have some people in Canada that have the Jelly Ball setups.
Right. So, but I'm just saying, I would have to. So A, we have to worry about COVID, and B, I have to worry about what the actual. I can't call it a marker, but so gun, Jelly Ball. Yeah. But I'd have to worry about how it looks for image. Make it look like space guns or something like that. That's like
Buck Rogers. Blue and red.
So the beauty of them is that it's chassised after a 1911 pistol, but it's larger. It's lightweight plastic. It has a hopper on top, so you can see the Jelly Balls. But when we first got into it, they were black, and we kept talking about it. And I finally got them. Let's do them in different colors. So we do blue and red now, so that you can distinguish the teams.
Right.
So, and then they still have the orange tip, like an airsoft rifle and things like that, or an airsoft pistol. So yes. And the reason that I push for that is, perfect example. I met a field owner one day that had a gun break, and so I met him at a Chick-fil-A. You know what Chick-fil-A's are?
I do. We just got them.
He likes Chick-fil-A.
Okay. So we were meeting at a Chick-fil-A near my office, and he comes walking out of his car, and the feed neck is off of the gun, so it looks like a Picatinny rail.
Right.
And then he's holding it by the barrel, so he's covering the orange tip, and he's walking across the parking lot. So I see it, and I jump out of my truck, and I kind of, as fast as a fat guy can go, I shuffle over there, and I'm like, hey, can I have that? And I take it from him, and I kind of hold it, because we're in public in the middle of the Chick-fil-A, which is very busy in Texas.
Right.
And he's like, what's up? And I said, dude, it looks like a real pistol, and you're walking across the parking lot. And he's like, oh, I didn't think about that. So after that, I asked Clay, and we all Clay and Mike and everybody involved, we all decided, yes, let's do different colors. So we tried to figure out what cool colors were. So we chose on blue and red, and that's our color. So like I said, we don't push it out as retail. Our dealers can sell them retails in their stores or to players or whatever they want to do, but we only sell wholesale to the market. And so that's the beauty of it is we don't. And I'm working on some other styles to kind of give it, because people have asked us for like a phaser look, like from Star Trek or something like that.
Well, I wouldn't want to look like Star Trek, but yeah, I'd want to look more like a space gun, because with like bulbish, like just so that
Yeah.
there's no mistaking.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
and please for everybody that's watching, I am very pro Second Amendment if you're in the States, and I'm very whatever our equivalent is up here in Canada. Don't even get me started. But when you're talking about from a business standpoint and you're bringing children in and they are 5 and 6 and whatnot, there's a lot of parents that are very anti-gun. So to have a pistol that doesn't look like a real thing or like a real firearm, I think that is a big selling point for birthdays and whatnot, because you don't want to have a kid invite his friends and 4 of them say, well, I can't come because my parents don't believe in guns. And so I'm not making any judgments. I'm just talking from a purely business perspective. You want to change it a little bit so that everybody's happy as possibly able.
But
because nobody's ever going to be happy, everybody.
But on the other hand, and I'm not, and please don't take this as an attack.
No.
You've got the MagFed guys. Everything looks like an M4 chassis or the different pistols.
Everything looks like Call of Duty.
Airsoft is, I mean, I can pull out my real M4, and if I took an orange tip off that and screwed on a fake suppressor, it would look just like my real M4 that I pulled out of my bag. And it's scary because we constantly tell parents, and these parents come in, like at Christmas time, we sold lots of airsoft rifles and pistols at Christmas time because that's what kids wanted. And the parents are like, okay, yeah, it looks great. We'll take it. Do you have an AK-47 style or do you only have the M4? Do you have the CQB, like the shorties, and do you have the collapsible stocks?
Do you have it without the orange tip?
Yeah. Can we get it, can you get it without the orange tip? I go, no, we don't sell it like that. And they're glued on. So, but then we'll see the kid come out later with it painted black. And so we catch him like, no, please don't do that.
Well, in Canada at this current time, we do not have any orange tips on our airsoft. None.
Wow, really?
None. Like our stuff is bang on replica. I've got an airsoft AR-15 over there. It's actually an exact duplicate, all metal XM177 E2. That's like the Vietnam replica.
Yeah.
Can you tell? I know I know a little bit about a little bit, and it looks bang on exactly. It even has property of the U.S. government Colt stamps on it.
Yeah.
Like it's complete replica. But as soon as C-21 passes, they're all going to be prohibited weapons, which means you can't sell them, you can't do anything with them. You just got to turn them in or sell them to the government, whatever. I don't know what's going on.
You'll have to move to Texas now.
Yeah, and I'm totally okay with that. The only reason, and I will tell everybody this right now, the only reason why I am not currently an American is because I have a son that I love very, very much, and I will not leave him no matter what. I will sacrifice everything else to spend more time with my son.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, but having said that, I've actually had to turn down 3 job offers in the States, in states that I would love to go to, just because, it is what it is.
Oh, yeah. He's been converted. You're too Canadian now.
What are you talking about?
No, we're just poking fun at you.
Well, I don't understand the joke, though.
No, so she goes, oh, he's too Canadian now. Like you're being offered to move to Texas. Like we'll harbor you here.
Okay.
We'll feed you grits. We'll feed you.
I'll make you sausage and biscuits.
And you still want to stay in Canada. We don't understand the draw. Oh. If you need help, smack your fingers 3 times. We'll send a team. Okay,
no.
Way.
I will be honest with you.
And we'll rescue your kid too.
I have had a fascination with Texas since I was born. Like no argument. Like I have. Anybody that knows me really well will know that I love Texas. When I was I just graduated high school. I was in college. The girl I was dating at the time dragged me to one of those psychic fairs. Are you familiar with those?
Yes.
Okay, so she dragged me to one of these things, and I'm not saying I believe. I'm not saying I don't believe. I just have no use or time for that kind of crap. But so she made me sit down, and I had to do like a past life. And without going into the full story and the full spiel, the lady looked at me with this really weird look, and the story was I was a highwayman in Texas and I was hung from a tree for stealing horses.
Okay.
What, like, who gets that? I mean, everybody else gets like, oh, you like the Queen of Sheba, and oh, you were like the assistant to Abraham Lincoln or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
You know, dinosaur hunter, something. Oh no, I was a highwayman that was hung for stealing horses in Texas. Like, and then when I finally was able to make it to Texas a few years later and the plane touched down, and the minute my boots hit the ground, I honestly immediately felt like I was at home, like just completely. I can't tell you how much I love Texas. And I spent almost a week just outside the stockyards, Fort Worth area.
Yeah.
And pardon?
Did you go to NASA?
No.
That's Jay's favorite.
Yeah.
I was too busy doing stuff. So I did get a chance to go to Billy Bob's.
Okay.
But and then there was this restaurant that was in the middle of a lake that you had to have, like, it was just like this really shallow lake thing, and there's a restaurant in the middle of it, and there was like sidewalks, and you had to walk along this long sidewalks, and there was this like 2-story pub kind of place, and that was just awesome. I liked that more than I liked Billy Bob's. It was just grittier, if you will.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool things. Just like any city in the world all has their cool attractions. But the beauty of living in Texas, because I've moved away and I've moved back. I mean, I've lived in Colorado. I've lived California. I've lived quite a few places, but I always come back to Texas because it's just, you know, and like somebody just made a comment, Jeff Thompson, Texas is too hot. It is, but we're acclimated to it. So we just drink a lot of sweet tea and Dr. Pepper and we're good to go. And swim a lot.
I can't do tea.
Yeah, she doesn't like tea.
Sweet, unsweet, none of
She
it.
hasn't, you know, it's a Southern thing.
They didn't give it to me as a baby, so I never like developed it.
I don't drink coffee.
Yeah,
like,
I don't
at
either.
all.
Oh, I love coffee.
Coffee's Dr. Pepper's my caffeine. So,
And I do Coca-Cola, like,
yeah.
Diet Coke.
Everybody has their thing.
Yep.
So,
So
Ours
you
is
know,
paintball.
but yeah, paintball's our love. So, and it's treated us very well, and we've tried to treat everybody that we've met in paintball with the utmost respect.
now we have to talk about the tank.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to make this show all about the tank, but it's all
It's a real
personally.
tank.
It's a real Leopard. What you said was like an 1A5 or
1A5.
The
Like,
guy
it's-
just moved it this week.
So,
now, because it's a Leopard tank, does that mean it was one of our Canadian tanks?
you know, I don't know the whole history on it. So,
I've been told it's German.
yeah, so we've had people come in that are ex-military tankers and stuff like that, and they're like, "Oh, well, this is this," and we're like, "Dude, I don't know. I mean, it belongs to a
tank.
friend of mine. He's letting us park it here, and we're gonna take people on rides, and we're all gonna make money. So it's great. Whatever you want to call it, just pay me money and ride it." But the beauty of it is that one of my friends works with the people that run drivetanks.com. And
Okay.
they've been on the Speed Channel, they've been on Discovery, they've been on everything that has cool factor written all over it. So the story I know is the gentleman that owns the ranch, the Ox Ranch and drivetanks.com, he's some super wealthy guy, collects military stuff, has all these exotic animals. This friend of ours and his wife, which she's a friend of ours as well, they live on there and they take care of it with a bunch of other employees, but he oversees all the operations and handles things. So because we have the oil industry is huge here. It's just the most biggest thing here. So every year we have this trade show called OTC, which is Offshore Technology Conference. And it's where all the people from all over the world come to Texas for a week and they talk oil and everything. So all these guys get together at this trade show. And so hunting people that do guides and fishing and tank driving and blowing stuff up and, you know, crazy helicopter rides and helicopter hunting and all these things. they promote that stuff at these trade shows because it's just another avenue for these rich oil guys to spend money at and bring their clients in and show them how Texas is.
Right.
So they moved this tank from down in the valley, which is quite a ways away, up to Houston to this trade show. So it was going to cost quite a bit of money to move it back to the valley, but because they want to use it again next year. So he calls us, can I store it at your place? Because I'm not very far away from where they were having the event. I said, sure. So then the conversation got on just having it parked there. And I said, well, could we give rides on it? So one of the gentlemen that works for him is moving back to the Houston area, which isn't too far from our facility. And he drives one of the tanks. So he is going to be in charge of running the tank, taking people on rides. I took 7 acres and made a figure 8 track with some hills and all kinds of stuff. And we'll take it. It'll hold 6 people with plus the driver. And we'll take people on rides. It's $100 a person. And it's a 20-minute ride. And it's an experience. It's all it is. And so the beauty of it is that by having it parked in front of my place, and we've never really, people assume that because of I've always had the fields tanks paintball, they always assume it's a tank. So it's really ironic that now we have a tank parked in front of our facility, which my last name is Tankersley. That's where everything comes from.
Right.
But it's so funny now. People come in like, oh, you got a real tank. I'm like, yeah, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And then we tell them the story of where it came from and all this stuff. And it's just crazy. People have automatically assumed over the years that why don't you have a tank? And now we do. So it's it's just ironic to us that we now have a tank in our parking lot.
If you make it up to Toronto again, I live in Oshawa, and I'm literally a 15-minute walk away from the Ontario Tank Museum.
Oh, cool.
It's just right by the Oshawa Airport. And it is dedicated to tanks only. And it has one of the largest collections, from what I've been told, it's one of the largest collections of fully functioning running tanks in North America.
Oh, that's cool.
I think somebody said it was the largest, but I have a hard time believing that. But that being said, every long weekend, they actually have simulations and stuff. And it is a big thing here in Oshawa that a lot of the retired people and whatnot, they will go to the museum and they will be volunteers and they will get set to a tank, and they will be so it'll be 5 or 6 guys, and all their job is to restore and work on one specific tank. And that's all they do. Oshawa is built on General Motors. So it's a whole lot of automotive factory workers. So these guys get to play with tanks, and we've got tanks from all over the world. And it's just, it sounds bigger than it is, but there's it's just amazing. So I'll get bored on long weekends when I'm not doing other things, and I'll just sort of walk up and pay my $10 and just watch tanks whipping around the south end of the airport.
That's awesome.
I keep trying to take it over there to go visit Jay and Scott, but it's not working out.
Yeah.
We got
because the border's closed, so they won't let us in because we're from Texas, and they know we're rebels, and we have guns and stuff.
I just want maple syrup from the source.
Yeah, we ran out of maple syrup, Jay. We need a new supply, so we're feeding.
Okay, so
Jay sends us maple syrup.
He sent us a crate of snacks last time, but there was no maple syrup.
Yeah, but that's okay. We still love you, Jay.
We got they're not Cheetos.
They're like Cheetos, but what do you guys call them?
But what do you guys?
Orange Crunchies or Cheese Crunchies or something?
There's so many different kinds.
Yeah, but
I don't know, but they were awesome.
They were way better than Cheetos. So now we're ruined. We have to move to Canada and buy these Orange Crunchies. So
I know which one you're talking about. They're stronger and they're much harder. Yes, those things are. Those are amazing.
And Turkish Delight, we got some of that. I love it.
Yeah,
it's so good.
So, but we got all the cool candies from Canada. So,
did you get the all dressed chips?
No, we didn't get those.
No, but we've had them before I think he sent us some before.
Yeah,
good.
We get care packages from Canada every once in a while.
And ketchup chips.
Yes, we've had those.
We have friends that live in the UK that'll send us those.
Which ones?
Both.
The all dressed chips.
All dressed and ketchup.
Well, all dressed is mostly a Canadian thing, to my understanding, but
Somehow they're over there as well. I know
they
we've
send
gotten
them to us.
I know.
Well, we all have the queen on our paper, so.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you guys all look alike to us. But yeah,
Canadians
we get
have better teeth.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, I should. Yeah,
Hey, mine are new.
So it's,
No, I'm talking in England.
in
Oh,
England, yeah,
yes.
exactly. So it's really funny because we'll get people to send us different pairs. So I have a friend that lives in Tokyo, and he sent us all these Tokyo snacks,
Oh god, those were
and
so
they were
good.
like cartoon figures on them and everything.
They're like
And so we're trying to figure out. They're like
giant Cheeto.
they're like giant churros. You know what a churro is?
Yeah, I love
Okay,
it.
so it's like a churro, but they were like octopus and
They were corn
ketchup,
snacks.
and they were corn snacks, but they were different flavors. And we didn't, and so
I
we
did
kept trying to
Google.
look it up, and we couldn't. And they were coming up with it was like the deciphering through Google was coming out with like octopus, squid ketchup or mayonnaise or something like that. And I'm like, oh,
I
it tastes
think
great. We'll eat it. So we had a whole he sent us a giant box of this stuff. So we ate this stuff for like months. And we were like giving it out as treats and things. The guys were like, "Oh my god!" If you do a good job today, you'll get one of the Tokyo flavors or one of the Tokyo snacks. Like, oh my god! And they clean the bathrooms extra good. So and now we're out, so I got to get more. So
You know what? Do you know what I used to love to give my refs? Believe it or not, and it was no ring pops. I don't know what it was, but back in the 90s. Like the stupid plastic rings with the ring pop on it. I got a big box of those, and it was like I would just hand those out as like, and everybody loved ring pops because it was so flippin' stupid, but they tasted so good that it was just like the greatest thing ever. And that was the running joke. It's like, I need something work done, and they'll be like, "Do you have ring pops?" Like, I do, and I would just start throwing out ring
it's
pops.
the simplest things
We'd
that
ride
make it the most fun.
We brought
It really is.
truck down the road.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, what was that?
we'd ride with tacos.
We have a taco truck down the road.
So if you do a good job, you get tacos.
Yeah, there's no good tacos up here, really.
Yeah,
I mean, we
you
have
know,
this.
you would-
We have this one little guy by the downtown Oshawa that makes a decent taco. But I go down south the minute I cross the border, and it's like, the
It's hard
only
to get a
reason
good
I'm up
taco.
here is for my son. And I got to be honest with you, if it wasn't for my son, I'd be like, "Do you have a couch?"
Yeah.
That is if Andy and the Alley Remembered Foundation and the Denver Expendables didn't drag me into Denver.
Yeah.
And
You've always got a home here, man. Always.
and Zach Streety, he really, really, really wants me to come to Kentucky, which is awesome too.
So Kenny Stewart said that he gave his refs beef sticks. Is that
All right,
like a weird reference in Canada?
Okay, you just chopped up something fierce.
Okay, so Kenny Stewart says that he used to give his refs beef sticks. So
Right.
I wonder if that's some sort of weird reference,
No, like the
like weird reference, like Canadian thing or something for something else weird.
All right, I'm not sure what's happening, Tank and Zoey, but we got everything. The noise sound went really bad,
Okay.
and I'm not able to. Oh, there we go. So everything sort of locked up there for a second, and I wasn't able to actually show stuff. So
Kenny broke it.
It's
But
all
we're
Kenny's fault.
yeah, we'll blame Kemi.
Yeah.
So
So what I was trying to say is Kenny posted up that he would give his refs beef sticks.
Oh, he's in America.
Oh,
Yeah,
Kenny,
yeah.
okay. But I was
he's the guy
wondering,
that does the paintball museum, General
but
Paintball Museum.
But I was making a joke that I was wondering if it's some sort of weird thing for Canadian, but he's not Canadian.
Our guys like pickle juice, actually.
Yeah, we tell pickles are huge here.
Oh my god, you can ask Reaper about that.
Yeah, ask Reaper about that. We turned him on to pickles, and now he's like he pushes pickles everywhere. He's a pickle pusher.
That means
I hope
something
he hears
entirely
that.
different up
He's a
here.
real pickle pusher.
He's a
Just so that we're clear.
Dill pickles, though.
yeah. Well, bread and butter pickles are good, but dill pickles are better when you're really dehydrated.
No, they're very common up here, but a pickle pusher up here is an entirely different thing. Just saying.
Okay.
Jeff, have
Hey.
you? Jeff, they make Lay's makes a flamin' hot dill pickle chip. Have you tried those? Because those are my absolute favorite. So good.
There's all kinds of things that are weird, but we like them, so it's all good.
Tastes like a hot Cheeto with a little bit of dill pickle.
Well, I
All
hate
right.
to cut it short, but I have an early day tomorrow.
Oh man, it's
I was actually about to point that out myself. We've been almost 2 hours.
Yeah, this is awesome. I love it.
Well, then we're gonna have to do it again.
Yes, we would love to be. We'd love to be your guest again.
Awesome. Well, I am so excited just to not meet you. I mean, I think Zoe and I were actually in the same picture from World Cup.
2019.
If you were with the full Destiny picture, were you in that?
I missed that one, but I was there.
Right. Well,
I missed that picture.
If you look, I was actually in that picture, and I was wearing the only Destiny Midwest one at
I'm
World
pretty
Cup.
sure
that
I
year.
met you there.
It's entirely possible. It was a blur for me.
Bit.
Yeah, I was so excited. I was just like, oh. So,
But
all
thank
right.
you so much for allowing us to be on your show. We really enjoy your show, and we really appreciate
you.
you asking us to come
What allow? Screw allow. I'm just excited to have you guys on. Thank you so much, and thank you for giving out a couple. Thank you for giving out a couple T-shirts. I will reach out to Mr. Connor, and I will. Pardon?
I've got Lupe here, and he messaged me.
All right.
And just message me his information. I'll get it out the door.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll introduce you to him. He is the Thunder from Down Under, and he's a riot.
Awesome. I can't wait to meet him.
So, all right. Well, I'll link you in on Facebook in future.
Sir.
Anyway.
Well, have a wonderful evening.
Any last things you want to plug before you go?
No. Tank's Paintball's awesome. Zoe Tankersley's awesome. You're awesome. Jellyball's awesome. Destiny's awesome.
Oh yeah, we love you, B.
Mike Paxton's my friend, and B is my paintball wife.
Oh, Lupe doesn't know. Yeah, you won a shirt.
Yeah, Lupe didn't know he won a shirt yet.
I tagged him after, but yeah, you won one.
But that's about it. I mean, I'm sure I'm forgetting all kinds of people. I'm so under pressure right now. I just can't think.
Right.
It's past his bedtime.
Well, next time that we got you on, I got to introduce you to Andy Starrett out of Colorado.
I love him.
Pardon?
I love him.
Yeah, he's awesome. So you guys know Andy?
I either met him at Cup or I feel like I have because we've all talked so much.
Yeah, he's the coolest thing ever. So, all right, you guys have a fantastic night, and I'm gonna take you off.
Be safe.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye now. How awesome was that show? Just shy of 2 hours, and honestly, I could have kept talking for another 2-3 hours, no problem. I can't even begin to tell you how much I was glad to have these guys on the show. Just awesome. Thank you all so much for watching. I am going to call it a night. So yeah, until next week. And remember, next week we're actually giving away one more T-shirt. So thank you all for watching. Sorry, I'm still stuck in the conversation. I've got so many more questions I want to ask. So we have to get them on the show soon. Anyway, play with passion, everybody, and keep your paint dry.